Public trust in science has been renewed due to the ongoing fight against COVID-19. That's one of the findings of a survey of 14 countries, including Singapore. It examined the perception of science before and after the pandemic struck. The survey was commissioned by US conglomerate 3M. Now, almost two-thirds of Singaporeans recognise that science is important to society. That is up 9 percentage points from a survey done before the pandemic. Over half say it's important to their daily life. That is up 7 points. However, more than a third remain sceptical of science, higher than the global average of 28%. They cited too many conflicting opinions among scientists. Meanwhile, COVID-19 has reinforced the importance of education focused on science, technology, engineering and mathematics, or STEM. Almost 8 in 10 Singaporeans agree that strong STEM education for students is crucial, higher than 73% globally. However, 1 in 6 report being discouraged from pursuing it when they were students. 40% say they were told they were not smart enough.
For more, we are joined by Associate Professor Lim Tit Meng, Chief Executive of the Science Centre Singapore. And we're also joined by Kevin McGuigan, Managing Director of Southeast Asia of global science company 3M. And gentlemen, welcome both of you. Professor, I'll come to you first. The survey says it took a pandemic for people to put a higher value to science. What does that say about general attitudes towards science?
Well, looking at the bright side as a science center person, the pandemic actually have shone a spotlight on the importance of science because it is through science that we get to understand the virus, and it's through science that we come up with understanding and also innovation and solutioning. So yes, I think this overall survey has given us a positive so-called perception of what science is and the role of science in the society. And today is actually World Science Day, celebrating the importance of science in the world. Right?
Actually, Kevin, to you as well, despite the positive public attitude, there's still those, including highly educated Singaporeans, who remain skeptical. Can you explain why?
Yeah, it's a great question. So if you look at 2 of the key important insights that we found, first, COVID-19 has encouraged people all over the world and right here in Singapore to place a higher trust in science to solve all kinds of different problems. And second of all, Singaporeans are more likely to view and engage in news or information about science. And so I think generally the relevance of science can be far removed from society. However, this year's study makes me hopeful that science skepticism will continue to decline and trust will increase. In my opinion, it's critically important for government, private sectors, and individuals to come together and collaborate to drive change. Now that people are valuing science more, this is a tremendous opportunity for us to cultivate a culture of science in the younger generation and develop more trust and interest in science.
Well, I can see you're both optimists. Professor, what impact would such a perception have on the number of people who, in fact, choose science-related fields to study and work in?
Well, we hope that we will see an increase in the number of students really committing themselves into the science and science-related STEM, especially related options and also career. And in recent time, we've seen Singapore, in a way, making headlines in the world map, in the world scene. For example, we lately had this good news about Singapore have this FDA-approved antibody detection kit. And earlier, we also learned about how Singaporeans have used robotic arms kind of technology to do swapping tests. And all this innovation actually gave a very positive image to science and STEM. And hopefully students will be inspired and seeing that, hey, Singapore can do and can help the world. And we are optimistic that we should see an increase in number of students enrolling in science and STEM-related options and careers.
Yeah, because, Professor, earlier we talked about how there were some who were discouraged from studying STEM in school. So now that we have these results, what are the implications from how STEM should be taught in schools? And for yourself at the Science Centre, how will you bear this in mind when you are coming up with new exhibits and how to display them?
Well, that's a good question, and also a good perspective to really look at how we should bring science alive and show the relevance of science and STEM and how they can help relate to real world problems and solve real world problems through what I call the power of STEM. And at the Science Centre, we really embarked on such a movement ever since a number of years ago. We started to push for STEM applied learning. And also we want to use our exhibition to show how a topic has got many angles coming in to use the fundamental of science. For example, we are having a new exhibition on energy. And behind energy, there's physics, there's engineering and technology. And we also work together with the Ministry of Education, and the teachers are involved in designing certain curriculum activities that they can come to the Science Centre and make the topic of energy really be so real and get the students to relate to them and see that that's the reason why they need to learn a certain aspect of physics or chemistry or even mathematics, because those are the foundation behind how we could use energy. And for sustainability purposes, energy is a big issue that we have to tackle. So this is how we want to make science alive, and we want to bring out the world relevance through our exhibition and programs.
Well, I want to thank both you gentlemen for being with us. There's always so many more questions, but so little time. And I was speaking there with Associate Professor Lim Tit Meng, Chief Executive of the Singapore Science Centre, as well as Kevin McGuigan. We will have you back. You are the Managing Director for 3M Southeast Asia and Singapore.